evening. Welcome to the Big Story. I'm Regina Lake.
I'm Gretchen Hall.
And I'm Sean Yao.
Tonight's Big Stories. 3 of Rodrigo Duterte's most trusted men have filed their certificates of candidacy for the Senate next year. Senator Bato de la Rosas also says Mayor Baste Duterte is okay joining them in the Senate race if someone else takes his spot in Davao City.
The Ombudsman finds suspended Cebu City Mayor Michael Rama guilty of nepotism and bars him from public office, just as Rama filed the COC for next year. We will be speaking to Mayor Rama on the show about his next steps.
And here's another one whose candidacy will come into question. Alice Go's lawyer confirms that she will be seeking re-election in Bamban, Tarlac, just as the NBI files more charges against her.
Well, on the third day of the filing of certificates of candidacy for the midterms, allies of former President Rodrigo Duterte came out.
Partido Democratico senatorial bet Senators Bongo, Bato de la Rosa, and Philip Salvador all officially filed their papers today. They also say they're still trying to convince the former president to run as well.
Meanwhile, Dr. Liza Ong, the wife of cancer-stricken senatorial hopeful Dr. Willie Ong, filed the COC on behalf of her husband. Mon Gualvez with a big story tonight.
Re-electionist Senators Bongo and Bato de la Rosa along with actor Philip Salvador filed their certificates of candidacy together. They are the senatorial candidates of Partido Democratico Pilipino or PDP, where former President Rodrigo Duterte serves as chairman. Joining the three in filing was the current president of PDP, Senator Robin Hood Padilla. De la Rosa admitted that criticisms against the Duterte family, including the International Criminal Court's investigation into the war on drugs, may affect their candidacy.
They form part of a grand demolition job against us, the Duterte and the allies of Duterte. So, I leave it up to the people. The people know very well what is the real score. Kung sila naniniwala na si Bato ay masamang tao, then please, by all means, do not vote for me.
But Go, for one, believes that the Duterte magic may still affect certain voters.
Mga kababayan ko, kayo na pong humusga kung sa tingin ninyong nakatulong po sa inyo ang mga programa niya noong 2016 up to 2022. Yung mga bill programs, yung kampanya niya against criminality. Kung nakakalakad ho ba ang inyong anak na hindi nasasaktan at nababastos, kayo na pong humusga.
Meanwhile, efforts to convince the former president to run in the 2025 polls continue.
Ako hanggang ngayon, nakikiusap kay Mayor. Ito ang kailangan natin sa leader natin, yung wisdom. Nakita naman natin yung wisdom ni Pangulong Duterte nung panahon ng pandemic, lalagpasan natin yung pandemic.
Yan po ang tinatawag na wait and see tayong lahat until the last day of filing.
On the other hand, Dr. Willie Ong's wife emotionally faced the media after filing a certificate of candidacy for the Senate.
Andito po ako para ang may bahay ni Doc Willie Ong. Para i-represent siya for senator. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng nagdasal for Doc Willie Ong. Thank you po.
They admitted that Doc Willie had no plans of running initially.
Nga sinabi nga sa akin personal na may sakit siya. Although ang kanyang intention ay ilaban yung sakit niya, pero siguro dahil may oras siya pong magnilay-nilay na pagdesisyon na I think this is something of a sign. Dinesisyon niya pong tumakbo despite all the odds.
Ong is set to return to the Philippines in December to personally campaign.
Hindi po ako kandidato, nandito po ako bilang isang nanay na sumusuporta sa aking anak na si Brian.
Meanwhile, Senator Grace Poe herself introduced her son, Brian Pulya Manzares, who is the first nominee of the FPJ Panday Bayanihan party list. They plan to promote programs focused on food, progress, and justice. Manzares emphasized that their group started as a foundation until they found the right timing.
Ngayon ay napatapos na po ang termino ng aking ina. Importante na ituloy namin ang kanyang legislative agenda at ang pangarap ni FPJ para sa bayan.
Several others have shown interest in the party list race. The Suerte party list is said to represent solo parents. Re-election is Barangay Health Wellness or BHW party list, and the Health Workers party list, which has been allowed to run by the COMELEC after initially being disqualified. Many have also filed their certificates of candidacy for senator, including proud LGBT member Jose Bonilla, who is part of the Manobo tribe, as well as the first-timer Khaled Casimra. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
Plenty of certificates of candidacy were also filed today across the nation. Let's check out some of the more notable ones. Hundreds of supporters welcomed suspended Cebu City Mayor Michael Rama when he filed his COC at the COMELEC office in the city. He was joined by his running mate, former PBA player Dondon Hontiveros, as well as several other party members from the Barug team Rama Bagong Sugbo. Last May, Rama was suspended from his position as mayor of Cebu following complaints from several City Hall employees who allegedly did not receive their salaries. Over in Batangas, the Recto family was complete as Finance Secretary Ralph Recto introduced their candidates for various positions in the province. His wife, Vilma Santos Recto, is the #1 candidate of Team 1 Batangas and will run again for governor. But to the surprise of many, their children, Luis Manzano and Ryan Recto, are now also gunning for seats in the province. Luis will run for vice governor as a first-time candidate, while his younger brother Ryan will run for congressman in the 6th district.
So I'm sure with my 2 boys, magiging epektibo para mas makapagtrabaho. So I hope matanggap nila. At we are here to serve.
Kung alam nilang kung gaano kahaba ang usapan namin ng aking misis na si Jessie. Dahil syempre medyo mag-iibang dynamics ng aming pamilya.
Much like my brother actually, it took a lot of time too. But now I guess all that's left to do is to answer that calling and do my part for the people of Lipa.
Meanwhile, the COMELEC office in Davao City was also filled with supporters. Among those who filed their certificates of candidacy were candidates for councilor Priscilla Galope and Ricky Liparano. No one has yet filed a COC for the position of mayor, which is expected to come from the Duterte and the Nograles families. Senator De La Rosa says Davao City Mayor Sebastian Baste Duterte is okay to run for the Senate, provided someone else in the family takes over the mayorship from him.
Tinanong ko ulit si Mayor Baste kung ready na ba siyang tumakbo pagka-senador. And he told me na ready daw siya anytime kung provided yung condition niya is si Pangulong Duterte ay tatakbong mayor ng Davao. Kasi talagang hindi nila basta-bastang iwan yung Davao. Kailangan merong isa sa kanila doon na maiiwan. Kaya yun pa, pag-usapan pa nila. Pero the way I see it, parang gusto na rin siguro ni Pangulong Duterte na mag-relax. Kaya nga, hindi pa nakapag-decide si Mayor Baste na tatakbong pagka-senador.
Yesterday, this photo of the Duterte kids in bed with their father went viral. Former President Duterte had obviously lost weight, his face looking somewhat gaunt, which prompted questions about his health. But De La Rosa insists he's fine.
Okay naman siya. Parang matamlay lang yun kasi baka parang ginugulo ng mga anak niya. Natutulog yun nasa loob pa ng kulambo. Natutulog lang yun Binulabog ng mga anak niya siguro, ginising siya. Kaya ganun lang, matamlay yung mata tingnan. Pero okay naman si Pangulong Duterte nung last na kami nagkita.
Well, here's something that will complicate plans for Cebu City Mayor Mike Rama. The Office of the Ombudsman has found Rama guilty of grave misconduct and nepotism. In a decision dated September 25 but released only to the media today, the Ombudsman says he will also be dismissed from service and permanently banned from public office. In 2023, a certain Jonel Saceda, who goes by the name Inday Josa Chongbian Ospeña online, accused Rama of hiring his brothers-in-law Elmer and Gomer Mandanat and appointing them to positions in Cebu Medical Center and the Office of the Mayor. Civil service rules prohibit officials from employing relatives within the third degree of affinity. Reports say the Ombudsman emphasized that aside from dismissal and lifetime disqualification from public office, Rama will also be stripped of retirement benefits. Let's try to find out more, we have with us tonight suspended Cebu City Mayor Mike Rama. Thanks for joining us this evening, Mayor. Can you hear me okay?
Good evening. I'd like to correct, it's preventively, not just diretso, suspended.
Preventively suspended. Okay.
Preventively suspended.
Right.
Second, of course, I have, and I thank God that I have filed a certificate of candidacy today. And that's why I've been interviewed, and I called the whole event euphoric. God's triumph, Senior Santo Niño as well, and all the saints in a victorious stand. Pareho din ng mga tao na bumuboto sa akin, sumasama. It's a triumphant morning. Now, I cannot be commenting, ladies, because as of today, it's just like the preventive, what I call suspension that occurred last time. I do not have copy yet. I do not know why copies are being distributed, and me, supposed to be the one na pinag-uusapan, wala akong kopya. Saka, I would like to correct, yung brother-in-law ko, brothers, 2015 pa, hired na yan. Isa, 2020, hired na rin.
Right.
Ang nangyayari, ako ay nagpapakasal ng asawa ko. Pero since 32 years ago, wala po akong bloodline na hina-hire in the city of Cebu. Kaya I am feeling really disenchanted kasi kung babasahin lang yung lahat na sinasabi ng mga lawyers ko, wala akong kasalanan. Wala.
Right. Mayor,
Wala.
Mayor, let's unpack some of those strands. Number one, I'm sorry that you haven't gotten a copy of the decision, but we have, and I read part of it. The ombudsman says has ordered your dismissal from service, as well as your permanent ban from public office for you. What is your, I know you filed your COC today, but what is your next step from here on once you receive the decision?
We will cross the bridge when we reach there, ladies. Because right now, this is not the first time when we had the illegal or the so-called preventive suspension, ganun din. Mabuti pa yung newspaper na una. Mabuti pa yung mga tao na lalaman. But wala akong kopya. Wala. Saka, I will be fighting all of this even up to Supreme Court.
To be fair, Mayor Rama, nabanggit naman po no, yung side din nyo na yung brothers-in-law nyo nga are already in or were already hired by the city government. No? Yung isa sa ospital, yung isa sa City Hall, if I'm not mistaken. And your wife was also part of City Hall, right?
Yes, before.
Correct.
Before I got the marriage and before love affair got into the picture.
The thing is, though, Mayor, what they're saying is like, you said daw something na, kumbaga, nakaligtaan nyo lang na ma-vet, na...
Totoo.
Oo.
Can
you tell us how that... ano ba nangyari doon, Mayor?
Kasi kung titingnan mo, 11,000 yung employees ng City Hall. Saka nangyari ito during Odette. Kaya pag tinitingnan mo yung lahat ng plantilya, di naman diretso sa akin eh. Galing pa yan sa personal department. Saka sa personal department, nagsicertify yan that this whole list of 11,000 employees expected to have complied the certain civil service law, which would have included, and I presume, that role of nepotism. Kaya I do not want to be discussing the nitty-gritty because I knew at the outset, being the lawyer, mayroon po ako instruction. Kaso lang, alam mo, pag mayroon ka instruction, pag hindi yan, not heeded, you'll all end up, at the end of the day, but I will repeat, kasalanan ko ba? umibig ako ng asawa ko.
Right.
Saka pag-ibig ko ng asawa ko, ang nangyari yung nagtrabaho na sa City Hall since 2015, 2020 ay nawawala ng trabaho.
Yeah.
At saka ako ay nagiging, ito na nangyayari sa akin.
Right, but
Hindi
Mayor
ako hihinto. Hindi ako hihinto.
Mayor Rama, isn't it also true that those two gentlemen, Elmer and Gomer, their contracts were renewed under your term in 2022 from July to December? So that was a
You have to
renewal of
remember,
their contracts.
2015, ibang mayor yon.
Yeah, pero
Tapos
na-renew po yung
2000, ibang
contract.
mayor yon.
Right. But
Kaya pagdating sa akin, it is just a continuation the way I look at it, but I made some instruction already. Made some instruction. Yung isa maging confidential, yung isa maging, there was already set an instruction. Pero alam mo naman, kung talagang hinahanap yung liig ni Juan Bautista, ito na. Buti na lang, June 24 natapos na. Ito na. Pero hindi ako hihinto. Hindi. Wala po akong kasalanan. Wala.
so why did you renew them, Mayor? Did you not know that that's against the rules? Against the law?
You're saying it, yung sinasabi ko, it's Aryan trabaho, hindi sa akin. Human resource yan na trabaho. 11,000 yan employees. Kasama sila. Dapat yung HR, alam nila, they should have put all these things in the proper perspective bago ko napirmahan. So pinakahuli ako nagpirma dyan. Pinakahuli. 11,000 employees.
So sa pagkakaintindi nyo po, yung brothers-in-law po ninyo, their employment by the City Hall was legal at the time that you
Of
signed
course,
it.
from the beginning, it's all legal. And they have been renewed, by, including to mayors,
Pero-
until I got married.
Oo, pero alam po ninyo that they were being renewed.
No, they being renewed, but I'm saying they ought to be renewed as a confidential. They ought to be renewed to another office. But, I'm telling you, pag binasa lang, mabasa ka nila para malaman nilang wala akong malis, walang bad faith, wala.
Wait, Mayor, to be honest, I find this a little bit funny that you've been found guilty of nepotism at a time that, we see COCs filed here and there, and we see families filing them together. Parang nakakatawa po, parang hindi po natin alam saan
Pero safe to say, ganito na lang.
inulugar yung mga bagay-bagay. Pero I wanted to know a little bit about Jonel Saceda, the one who filed the case in 2023.
I do not want to be, how do you call it? I do not want to say further. I wish, because we're going to proceed. If indeed there is a copy, send it to me. Because right now, I do not have a copy. So nothing received, nothing supposed to be deserving for comment of such a direction na ginagawa yung sinasabi nyo. Wala ako nakikita kasi wala akong kopya.
Open naman daw po for appeal pa. That's what the ombudsman said. So I'm guessing, Mayor, you will take that avenue once you get a copy, of course.
Alam mo, mabuti kayong talutlo maging lawyer ko. Kasi puro kayo babae. Kaya ako'y
Okay.
totoo. Should I be punished
Okay.
for marrying my wife? And should it be a basis? Because I married my wife, two of them who have been in government since 2015 and 2020, respectively, should lose their job. Can you please make a judgment along that way?
But I guess as a public official, you're expected to know what is allowed and not, what is
I
ethical
knew.
and not.
Ladies, I knew it. That's why I did my part. That's why it's all about human resource department. Ought to be. I cannot be taking one page and looking at where are my brother-in-law. That's 11,000. And it's Odette. You know what is Odette?
Yes, the
Baka
bagyo. Yung bagyo po.
tinitingnan ko yan, wala pang ilaw eh.
Hindi,
Candlelight pa.
casual employment kasi yung sa 2022.
Kaya nga eh.
For 1 year.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Let's move on. You haven't got a copy of the decision, but we'll maybe call you back in once you do. But you filed your COC today. What's going to be your campaign strategy next year? Let's say the legalities are cleared and you are allowed to campaign and run.
You know, I've been out and I find it really already a constructive dismissal. 6 months. Buti na lang hindi dinagdag na 3 para manganak na 9 months. Eh, wala naman akong kasalanan. Ngayon, you're talking about my platform. It barog Cebu City and that's still making Cebu City Singapore-like and Melbourne pictures. Each of these acronym, meron niyang meaning. Ito na nangyayari, ang daming nasisira ng policy ko. Ang daming project inihinto. Maraming project even sinulog, iniiba. Alam mo naman, sinulog for the past 2 years. Has to be at SRP. Gusto na lang ibalik. Eh, ayaw ko naman yung stand na yan kasi nakakatakot. Mayroong mga stampede or whatever. So, lahat yan gagawin ko pa. Tutuloy pa. Marami po. Making the lives of the poor better, the middle class comfortable, and the rich to share. Saka tuwirin yung maluktot, pagandahin yung hindi masyadong maganda, pabangin yung mabantot, at saka ayusin yung garbage, and the last, make order what is crooked. Lahat yan, mga project ko, 600 yan. Ang iba natatapos na, yung iba itutuloy. Kaya pagbalik ko po, pagdadasal niyo ako, ladies, Lady Gretchen, Sean, and Regina, you pray for me. This is not an ordinary ordeal. And because of love, I got into this trouble.
Okay.
And because
Okay,
of
Mayor
nothing
Rama,
about,
We cannot.
that's why I cannot understand why the ombudsman did not read. They should have read all the
Mayor Rama?
details.
Mayor Rama, can I interrupt you to ask you about your current case, no? So you were preventively suspended for 6 months. I think, based on my calculation, roughly 2 months left, right? What have you been doing since you're preventively suspended? Pero parang nagtatrabaho pa rin naman po kayo based
Yes.
on
Yes.
on your Facebook page.
It's a
Can you
negative positive po.
How do
It
you?
has become positive. I have practically went 3 times of the 80 barangays. Babalik na naman ako with my son, to tell the whole and sundry, bakit naman ganito? Ano ba ito? Should I be punished? But anyhow, I am very thankful. You look at me, I'm smiling because I embrace Senior Santo Niño. Saka, yung faith ko po, ladies, ay talagang nandyan. Yung belief ko, hindi yan madidisturb. At saka, yung courage ko ay palaging nandyan. Nandyan man naman ang asawa ko. Nandyan yung 2 anak ko. Saka yung isang 4-year-old ko anak.
Right.
Sila po ay adrenaline ko po. At saka lahat ng mga supporters ko na naniniwala sa akin. Sila yun. They are the wind beneath my wings.
Mayor?
If you lose, so yun nga, we've gotten the ombudsman decision, but let's say you take it to the Supreme Court, but you still lose, what's going to happen? Are you going to ask your...
I do not think I will lose in the Supreme Court. I even believe I will win at the Court of Appeals. And I still believe if a motion for reconsideration will be in place and it will hit the heart of Martires, the ombudsman, justice, and give me fairness.
Okay.
Give me impartiality, and I will invoke, should I be punished? Should I be punished for marrying my wife?
Okay. Mayor, we can't obviously side with any candidates, but we wish you well. Thank you so much for joining us here on The Big Story
Maraming
tonight to
salamat
talk about
din,
the case.
ladies.
That was preventively suspended. I should add that qualifier. Preventively suspended Cebu City Mayor Mike Rama.
All right, it's truly election season once again. And yesterday, we did talk about the possibility of Alice Go running once again for mayor of Bamban Tarlac. And today, her legal counsel confirmed those plans. And once all the documents are in order, Go's COC will be filed with the COMELEC in Bamban.
Kailangan kasi talaga dapat patunayan ng mga tao doon kung mahal talaga siya. Hindi yung technicality na sinasabing hindi siya qualified o kung ano mga issues, di ba? Why don't we let the people to decide kung talagang gusto siya ng tao? Di ba? Anyway, kung hindi man siya gusto, hindi mo siya mananalo.
COMELEC has already said that they cannot prevent Go from filing her certificate of candidacy. However, it clarified that not everyone who files a COC automatically becomes a candidate. Between now and when the ballots are printed, the COMELEC Ombank may still issue a ruling in the misrepresentation case against her, or the Ombudsman decides on her cases with finality. Meanwhile, Sual Pangasinan Mayor Dong Kalugay has also filed his COC for re-election. Kalugay has been appearing at the hearings by the House of Representatives and the Senate over allegations that he has romantic and business ties with Alice Go. If elected, it will be Kalugay's third term as Sual Mayor.
Kanina, nakausap pa sa Storycon si COMELEC spokesperson Rex Laudianco. Klinaro dito kung ano nga ba yung status ni Alice Go. So she can file her COC because there hasn't been a final decision on her birth certificate, the cancellation. Nasa Tarlac RTC pa yun. And sabi ni Soljan Guevara, matatagalan pa. I mean, posibleng umabot ng eleksyon bago magkaroon ng decision doon. But what the COMELEC can do if they want to speed things up is that
issue a ruling.
Any voter can challenge the COC of Alice Go, and the COMELEC can act as a judicial body and they can decide on it. Tapos pag may decision na yung COMELEC Ombank,
that's right.
That is what can be challenged by the camp of Alice Go in the Supreme Court.
Right.
And the Supreme Court has 5 days to issue a decision. Pag wala, makakancel na yung COC ni Alice Go.
Or as she said, they could just issue a ruling on the misrepresentation case. I mean, at this point, is there any chance that the COMELEC will uphold Alice Go's candidacy,
Pero
right?
yun ang pwedeng i-challenge nila ng camp ni Alice Go before the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And the timeline is to do all of that before December, the printing of the ballots.
Yeah, and that timeline is really tight, and that is the challenge.
While Alice Go prepares for a possible re-election bid, I can't even believe I'm saying that, but yes, as she prepares for a possible re-election bid, the cases against her keep piling up, though. Camille Samonte has the report.
Alice Go, lawyer Elmer Galicia, and several others are now facing complaints of falsification, perjury, and obstruction of justice. The NBI filed these complaints before the Department of Justice in connection with Go's notarized counter-affidavit for her qualified human trafficking complaint before the DOJ. There's now even an NBI task force. Alice Go, whose head agent Palmer Malari said the results of an examination showed that Go did not sign her counter-affidavit, contrary to her testimony during a Senate hearing on September 17. In the hearing, Go said she signed the last page of her counter-affidavit before she left the country in July.
We collected sample specimen signatures on original documents before the municipality of Bamban Tarlac as prior sample specimen signatures, and we also collected sample specimen signatures purportedly signed subsequent to the date of the counter-affidavit. True enough, after the examination conducted by our QDD, it was proven that the sample signatures appearing on all those documents as compared to the supposed signature appearing on the counter-affidavit were actually not written by one and the same person. So basically what this actually means is that iba po ang pumirma doon sa counter-affidavit.
Recall that Go's counter-affidavit was notarized and signed by Attorney Galicia on August 14 in San Jose del Monte City, Bulacan, long after Go had fled the country. Galicia, who has admitted that Go did not personally swear before him, which is required by law, is also facing a disbarment complaint.
To our fellow lawyers that we should obey the law. And if you are caught doing something, it will be dealt with severely. Yun po yung lesson dito eh. If you think that those things that do not matter, we will prove to you they matter.
Meanwhile, the DOJ and NBI are also looking into the Al Jazeera documentary, which claims that Go is a Chinese spy.
We take them seriously. It's number one, especially espionage is involved. And second, there are other things that we have to look at. Yung kanyang birth certificate na ginamit, yung kanyang Philippine passport kung paano nakuha. Kasi itong nakita natin kay Alice Go reminds us that we have national security concerns on these matters when there are fake identities involved.
Apart from these new complaints, Go is also facing a qualified human trafficking case before a Pasig court, a graft case before a Valenzuela court, a co-parenting petition with a Manila court, the petition to cancel her birth certificate before a Tarlac court, a tax evasion complaint, as well as 87 counts of money laundering before the Justice Department. For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
Time to take a very quick break. Right after that, we'll be moving over to the filing of COCs in the NCR as we discuss all the moves with political analyst Ronald Llamas. Stay tuned for that.
Welcome back. You're still watching a big story here on One News.
Manila and Caloocan are shaping up to be key cities to watch in the 2025 midterm elections. Already in the running for the mayoralty are former allies turned opponents and a local government newbie challenging an old political clan. Marian Enriquez with more details.
The fanfare for re-electionists Manila Mayor Honey Lacuna and Vice Mayor Yul Servo started at the Manila City Hall. Supporters gathered early morning just to greet them and wish them luck before the tandem headed to the Comelec satellite office in SM Manila. Lacuna and Servo filed their certificates of candidacy under the banner of Ascenso Manileño. Sometime during Lacuna's huddle with supporters, Lacuna can be heard shouting, "Nobody's returning, nobody's returning." In front of supporters, she also uttered, "Bawal ang taksil, no traitors allowed." Many took it as a pot shot at Lacuna's once political ally, Isko Moreno, who is said to be going head-to-head with her for the mayoralty again. And coincidentally or not, Moreno was also out on the day Lacuna made her candidacy official. Isko tagged along Manila 1st District Representative Ernix Junicio as he filed his COC at the COMELEC NCR office in San Juan. In an ambush interview, Moreno was asked about Lacuna chanting "Wala nang babalik."
Peace be with you. Hayaan ko na lang ang taong bayan sa Maynila ang sumagot.
The former Manila mayor who ran and lost in the presidential elections of 2022 is expected to make his mayoralty run official on October 8. That's the last day of COC filing. Yorme, as his allies call him, is bannering Acción Democrático and will have as running mate Chi Atienza Valdepeñas, daughter of former Manila Mayor Lito Atienza. Over in Caloocan, former Senator Sonny Trillanes has also made his candidacy formal. Like Isko Moreno, he is running for mayor under the same political party, Acción Democrático. He is attempting to end the more than one-decade rule of the Malapitans in the city. Trillanes is going against incumbent Mayor Along Malapitan, who filed his COC a day before Trillanes. Malapitan said he has an edge over Trillanes, him being a true blue Caloocan resident. Malapitan also trumpeted years of local government service under his belt, but Trillanes shrugged this off.
Ako po, I was born and raised po sa Barangay 169, no? Baka mas matagal pa ako sa kanya sa Caloocan, ano? At siguro hindi siya nagagawi dun sa North, kaya siguro napabayaan nila ng husto yun.
For News 5, Marian Enriquez. We are One News.
3 days done, 5 to go. The filing of certificate of candidacies for the 2025 midterm polls saw both familiar faces and new ones as well. And joining us tonight to help us dissect this is our resident political pundit, Ronald Llamas. Magandang gabi, Ronald. Parang hindi siya sanay na over Zoom, ano? Nakamute kayo, Ronald.
Yes.
Ayan.
Magandang gabi, Sean, Regina, Gretchen. It's great to see you again.
Ronald, saan ba natin sisimulan to? I guess because
Dito ako sa restaurant, kaya medyo maingay na konti.
the past days have
Sino
been...
ka-dinner mo?
Oo, yung pala, oo. Sinong ka-dinner nyo?
Sinong political party yan?
Mga pamilya.
Ayun na nga. Yun nga ang aking pag-uusapan. Una, dahil we've been seeing that's the common theme in these elections, the political dynasties, families running together. For example, in Batangas, yung mga Recto Manzano, magkakasama yan. Yung mga Duterte, magkakasama. Siyempre, yung iba pang mga probinsya nakikita natin, mga Binay, mga
Villafuerte, paulit-ulit na lang.
Yun na nga, at kanina rin, no, meron din tayong yung guest natin, nahatulang guilty raw ng ombudsman for nepotism. But just as a, given our proclivity towards these kind of politics, what do you think does this spell for in terms of bakit nga ba naging ganun yung trend? Is it to have an easier governance in the local levels, kaya may parang kanya-kanyang representative sa mayor, governor, vice, tapos meron ding congressman. I mean, yun ba yung para mapadali yung trabaho nila o just to secure their family in those cities? At it's
sabi nga ni Cardinal Sin bago siya namatay ay napaalis natin si Alibaba, but the 40 thieves remain. So, yan yung naging problema natin noong 1987. Kumuha tayo ng isang people power constitution at isang napakahalagang elemento ng people power constitution was the anti-dynasty bill. Dahil malinaw naman na isang dahilan kung bakit yung ating bansa ay hindi umaasenso, lalo na kumpara sa ating mga neighbors, tayo na yung ika-anim ngayon dito sa Southeast Asia. Dati tayong number 1. Ay dahil yung prevalence ng ating mga dynasties, warlords, at yung mga kartel na kanilang kontrolado sa ating ekonomiya. So yung politika na kontrolado ng mga warlords at saka ng mga dynasties ay sila rin yung may hawak ng mga kartel sa agrikultura, sa ating mga utilities, sa ating trade na kumokontrol ng ating buong bansa. Kaya medyo hindi umuunlad at naiiwan tayo ng ating mga neighbors. Kung hindi natin babaguhin yan, kahit yung Cambodia, in the next 3 years, ay pwedeng lampasan na tayo at talagang pagpapatuloy tayong bumaba. So isang mahalaga dyan ay yung usapin ng dynasty, usapin ng ating mga warlords at mga cartel. At yan ay malinaw na nakalagay sa ating konstitusyon. Pero dahil walang implementing rules, dahil yung gagawa ng ating implementing laws ay mga dynasty rin, so hanggang ngayon, after 37, 38 years, ay ganyan pa rin yung ating kalagayan. Kaya nung Lunes, nandun ako sa COMELEC, pumunta rin ako ron, ay halos karamihan ng mga nag-a-apply ay either mga dynasties, mga artista, mga warlords, no? At saka yung mga pinakamayayaman sa ating lipunan.
Okay, Ronald, medyo i-reframe ko na lang yung question ni Gretchen a bit, no? Kasi sa akin naman, sa aking pananaw, parang paulit-ulit na lang naman eh. This is not the first time we're having this conversation. This is not the first time these issues have been raised. Ang gusto ko itanong sa'yo, anong nakikita mong bago dito sa midterm elections na ito?
Well, yung kaunting bago ay nakikita ko, may mga ngayon, social media influencers na nagpa-participate sa election na hindi kasama dun sa traditional political class natin, no? Hindi pa ganun karami, pero nakakagulat na mayroong mga nangangahas na mga influencer, mga vlogger, 2, 3 yata yung nag-file to run for the Senate. At mukhang mas marami yung nag-file para tumakbo sa localities, no? Ito ay siguro isang trial run. Hindi pa sigurado kung sila ay madedeklarang nuisance candidate dahil usually kasi ay dumadaan sa proseso yan at tinatanong sila, meron ba silang nationwide network, meron ba silang resources, meron ba silang capacity para maglunsad ng kampanya. Kaya baka yung iba sa kanila ay madeklarang nuisance. Pero bago yan, ngayon lang ako nakakita ng more or less ganyan ka-significant na mga dami ng influencers na nagsisimulang mag-apply to run for elective positions, both national at saka local.
Okay, on that note, okay, on that note, no, hindi kaya na baka may existing na partido na inisip nila para makatipid tayo sa gasto sa social media, kuha na lang tayo ng isang tatakbong social media influencer para makatipid. Hindi kaya ganon?
Pwedeng potensyal yun. Paano, halimbawa, yung nakausap ko nga, si Mark Gamboa, siya tumatakbo for the Senate. Sabi ko, paano mo naisip na gawin niya? Wala kang partido, wala kang makinarya, wala kang resources. Sabi niya, na-inspire siya sa Europe. Dahil sa Europe, may mga ilang nanalo sa European Parliament na hindi mga politiko. Yung walang makinarya, walang resources, pero nakapasok sa European Parliament simply by being influencers. Sabi ko sa kanya, mukhang iba naman yung Europe sa Pilipinas. Sabi niya, kailangan we have to start somewhere, no? Kaya ako ay skeptical pa rin ako, pero sila ay very optimistic. Ako naman, mahalaga sa ating politika ay may optimism, no? Kami kasing mga matatagal na sa politika ay hindi na madaling maging optimistic, no? Siguro kayong tatlo ay optimistic pa. Lalo na yung in-interview nyo kanina, si former Mayor Mike Rama, ang sabi niya, hindi lang to usapin ng politika o legalities, usapin ito ng pag-ibig. Di ba?
Super optimistic, I know.
Ako, hindi ako ganun ka-optimistic, pero baka kayo, optimistic kayo na ito ay pag-ibig.
I think that ship has sailed. Ronald, let's talk about Senator Amy, right? So you were one of the first ones, if not the first one, who said, namamangka siya sa dalawang ilog. And then she replied. She said, no, hindi siya namamangka sa dalawang ilog. She wants to be the one that brings those two rivers together. The question there is, look, I don't know if she was directly reacting to you, but the point is that she's decided to stand alone and be an independent candidate. Is this the right strategy? Is this a way to keep the Duterte supporters behind her still?
Well, ayoko naman maging presumptuous, pero parang nakikinig siya sa atin nung nakaraan nating interview. Dahil marami sa sinabi niya ay napag-usapan natin dito. Pero tingin ko ay baka in the balance sheet, for now, ay baka mas positibo yung ginawa niya. Dahil baka yung kanyang calculation ay, dahil siya ay Marcos pa naman, kahit umalis siya sa administration slate, ay may magdadala pa rin sa kanya doon sa administrasyon dahil ang apelyido niya ay Marcos, no? At dahil siya ay umalis sa slate, ay baka mas wholeheartedly dalhin siya ng mga Duterte o yung mga ibang oposisyon na kalaban ng gobyerno. So medyo tingin ko klaro yung kanyang calculation. Whether that will work, I'm not too sure. Dahil sa mga surveys, medyo bumababa siya. At kung wala ka sa administrasyon at ikaw ay nandun sa dulong 8 to 12, medyo delikado ka. No? Hindi ka nakakasigurado. Kaya yung sinasabi niya na ang gusto niya siya yung magiging daluyan ng lahat ng ilog ay yes, posible yun. Pero usually kasi yung daluyan ng mga ilog, yung dagat eh. At yung dagat, maalat. Kaya baka hindi ganun kasigurado yun na siya ay magiging daluyan ng mga iba't ibang ilog. At siya yung pipiliin. Tingin ko ay medyo masama yung loob ng administrasyon dahil kahit siya ay bumabati ko sa kanyang kapatid at sa kanyang at sa gobyerno, ay kinuha pa rin siya sa administration state. And yet, in spite of that, ay siya ay tumalon. Baka sa vantage point ng administrasyon at saka ng presidente at yung mga humahawak ng kampanya, sobra namang sampal ito sa kanyang kapatid. Kaya baka gumawa sila ng extra effort, kahit hindi ganun kalantad, para siya ay siguraduhin matalo.
No, but
so,
the alyansa...
makikita natin yan sa mga susunod na surveys kung magpapatuloy yung kanyang pagbaba at kung positibo ba o negatibo yung kanyang ginawa na pag-alis sa administrasyon at literally pagtalon sa Duterte camp.
Sabi ng alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas campaign manager, Toby Tiangco, he said they're still supporting her. Do you think they're just saying that?
Well, asahan naman natin na yun ang sasabihin ni Toby dahil nga ayaw naman nilang batikusin yung kapatid ng presidente na ang apelyido ay Marcos. Ang inoobserbahan ko dyan, yung slot ba na iniwan ni Amy, ay pupunuan ba nila ng bagong kandidato o pananatilihin nilang bakante, parang lalabas na siya ay parang mananatiling guest candidate kahit hindi siya kasama sa slate. Yun yung hinihintay ko dito sa after nitong filing. Kung meron ba silang ipapasok sa slot na yan o pananatilihin nilang bakante, which may mean na si Amy will remain like a guest candidate kahit hindi siya kasama officially sa slate.
Hey Ronald, anong nababalitaan mo dun sa litrato ng mga Duterte kay Presidente Duterte, former President Rodrigo Duterte sa kanyang health condition and itong posibleng pagtakbo ni Congresswoman Migs Nograles against, yun nga, ina-expect nila na the former president will be the one to run. I mean, ano nababalitaan mo on that end?
Well, nabanggit ko nga yan 2 weeks ago dahil may nagsabi si Migs Nograles daw ang tatakbo mayor. Sabi ko hindi, si Secretary Nograles ang lalaban. At malamang ay si Digong mismo ang tatakbo as mayor ng Davao City dahil kung ang tatakbo ay si Baste, ay baka may hindi ganun kasolido o hindi ganun kasiguradong mananalo. Dahil maraming reklamo kay Baste as mayor, as absentee mayor daw. Kaya para makasigurado sila, si Digong ang tatakbo. No? Pero nakita naman natin sa picture, parang he's not in the best of health. Pero kahit siya ay hindi in the best of health, pag siya ay nag-file for mayor ng Davao, I'm almost sure mananalo siya. At hindi nila iiwanan yung kanilang bailiwick. Mukhang si Baste ay tatakbo for the Senate. Yung sinabi ni Vice President Sara na tatlo yung tatakbo, na ang sabi ko naman ay hindi totoo yun, tingin ko ay baka may isa na tumakbo para to maintain the Duterte name sa nationwide politics na pangtulong sa kanyang kapatid na Vice President. Pero tingin ko the lines have been drawn sa Davao. Tingin ko most probably si Digong ang tatakbo at si Secretary Nograles ang kanyang makakalaban.
Ronald, linawin lang natin, si Carlo Nograles yung tatakbong mayor.
Yes. Yes.
Bakit hindi kayo naniniwala
Most
na si
probably,
Congresswoman Migs?
wala pa kasi nagpa-file eh.
O,
Wala pa nagpapayag.
ano yan, narinig ninyo o hindi kayo naniniwala na si Congresswoman Migs ang tatakbo?
Or tatakbo din siya, pero bilang district representative dun sa kanilang dating distrito.
Sino?
Si Congresswoman Migs Nograles, who is currently a party list
siya ay
representative.
mananatiling congresswoman. No? At ang tatapat kay Digong ay malamang ay si Secretary Nograles. Dahil tingin nila mas may tsansa sa labanan na parang street fighting si Secretary Nograles kaysa kay Migs Nograles. Siguro kung ang tatakbo ay si Baste, baka pwedeng lumaban si Migs Nograles as mayor. Pero most probably dahil si Digong ang tatakbo, malamang ang magpapile laban sa kanya as mayor ay si Secretary Nograles. No?
So, do you think Nograles has...
Ito ay hindi lang dahil narinig ko, ito ay ang aking calculation sa uri ng politika na meron tayo at meron sa Davao.
Ito na rin ba yung opportunity na makuha ulit ng isang Nograles ang kanilang distrito? Kasi distrito nila yung dati ngayon kay Pulong, di ba? Do you think another one of them will go for it?
Well, nandun yung possibility na yan, pero yung probability ay baka uphill pa rin. Bagaman, ang tingin ko ay bubuhusan ng gobyerno, bubuhusan ng alyansa, ng pagbabago, itong Davao. Dahil nagiging symbolic siya sa labanan ng mga Duterte at ng mga Marcoses. Kaya aasa ang mga Nograles ng malaking suporta galing sa administrasyon at sa ruling party, ruling coalition. No? Pero for now, ay medyo uphill pa rin sila dahil sobrang lakas ng popularity ni Digong sa Davao. Kaya yun yung kanilang lay of the land.
Si former Mayor Isko Moreno ay nagsabi ng peace be with you kay Mayor Honey Lacuna. What do you make of that? Mayor Honey says she feels betrayed dahil pinag-usapan nga na hindi siya tatakbo muli bilang mayor pag natalo siya doon sa 2022 elections. Pero mukhang yun nga, hindi na naitupad. Pero ngumiti lang si Mayor Isko at sabing, peace be with you.
Sorry, Gretchen, pwede mo pakiulit? Hindi ko masyado marinig.
Sabi ni former Mayor Isko Moreno, nang tanungin siya kung ano yung masasabi niya kay Mayor Honey Lacuna when she says she feels betrayed. Sabi niya, peace be with you, with a big smile on his face.
Well, expected yan dahil yung father ni Honey Lacuna na pumanaw na ay ang mentor ni Isko. At syempre, si Honey Lacuna ang kanyang vice mayor. Nung nakaraang pagtakbo ni Mayor Isko. At mukhang wala sa usapan daw nila na siya ay babalik kung siya ay matatalo for president. No? Kaya ang usapin dyan, he said this, she said this. So yun yung labanan dyan. Pero dati sila magkasama sa isang partido at sabi ko nga, very close dahil ang mentor ni Isko ay yung tatay. Kaya tingin ko yung eleksyon at yung kampanya sa Manila will be very intense. No? Yung administrasyon, malinaw na sinuportahan si Mayor Lacuna dahil siya ay tatakbo under lakas AUCD at yung 5 sa 6 na kongresista sa Manila ay sa kanya sumama, sa kanyang partido. No? Pero in terms of surveys daw, ay medyo malayo si Mayor Isko kay Mayor Lacuna. So, this will be very interesting dahil halos magkapamilya si Mayor Lacuna at saka si Isko Moreno. Hindi lamang dahil magkasama sa partido, kundi very close sila personally before. No? Pero ganyan talaga ang politika sa Pilipinas. Mga magkakamag-anak nga, nag-aaway no? At yan ang nakikita natin sa iba, katulad sa Makati, katulad sa ibang mga lugar sa Pilipinas, muntik na yata sa Taguig. No? Pero mukhang hindi natuloy si Lino Cayetano natatakbo as mayor laban kay Lani Cayetano.
Yeah. Okay.
Day 3 pa lang naman.
5 more days.
Mahaba pa ang filing.
Kanina tinatanong ko parang October 7 yung lucky
October
date.
Depende
sa Chinese calendar.
There's also last day.
Pero iba po
October
pala.
8.
Depende sa zodiac sign.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Political pundit, Ronald Llanos. You can go back to your dinner. Sino ba talaga ka-dinner mo?
Sinong pamilya?
Ito, mga kamag-anak lang.
Sinong pamilya sa aling baluarte? Hindi biro lang. Maraming salamat, Ron.
Yun yung problema dito, nag-uulihan no? At sana mapanood nyo yung ginawa namin documentary nung first day ng election. Lalabas namin sa last day ng filing sa 8. Medyo pinagtatawanan lang natin yung politika natin.
Maraming
Masyado
salamat.
kasi seryoso yung the big story
Mag-order na ako ng popcorn.
Sa YouTube ba yan? Sa YouTube? Lalabas? Di ba na? Bukas makikita ka namin muli sa StoryCon. But in the meantime, thank you very much to our resident political pundit, Ronald Llamas.
And just like that, naubusan na tayo ng oras. So just before we go, here is our big picture for tonight. This is a good one and not politically related. This is a photo of Philippine Eagle Carlito, recently taken in Leyte. Now, why is this significant? First off, let's clarify that Carlito is actually a female eagle. And a few months ago, Carlito, together with Uswag, were both released in Leyte as part of a reintroduction program for the species in the province. Leyte is only among 4 islands in the Philippines where the eagles live. But no Philippine eagle has been seen in Leyte since 2030. Sadly, Uswag died just 1 month after their release from drowning. Researchers from the Philippine Eagle Foundation took 3 months to finally find Carlito and snap these photos. They found Carlito healthy, which means that she is thriving in her new territory. Napag-usapan rin natin dito, right after nila i-release tong dalawang eagles.
Pero ngayon lang ako nakakita ng baby eagle na hindi pa masyadong...
Parang medyo teenager naman.
Pero bakit nga ba kailangan dalawa sila? Kasi for
Because
mating
they're,
purposes.
yes, for mating purposes. And ganun talaga yung Philippine eagles. They need a big territory and they're a pair. They're monogamous.
So pag mag-isa lang, mas higher chance na baka may mangyari kay Carlito. Hindi naman.
Hindi, they also want to repopulate it. So gusto nila magkaroon ng babies.
You know, the eagle is also someone's political symbol, right? So I don't know if people are gonna, read into this thinking na we're endorsing somebody. But I'm just saying, because politics is so hot right now, baka
that's
naman
correct.
some people will read into this saying, oh, why are they
We're
talking
about the
eagle?
UAAP, which is also ongoing. The Ateneo Blue Eagles.
Okay. Also, Ateneo Blue.
Ang dami ng kulay
Ayun ka na
ng
naman.
Philippine
Sige.
eagle.
Let's keep repeating eagle.
Disclaimer.
Okay.
We are concerned about conservation. And since Yolanda nga, nawalan na po ng eagle sa Leyte at they're trying to put it
We're
back.
talking
Yun lang
about
po.
literally the animal, not the symbol of any party.
Actually, medyo maliit kasi siya, but you can see Carlito over there in the photo sa
Okay.
taas ng sangkay. But that's it for the big story tonight.
And the bird has flown. This is it. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.